Argentina, the tournament favourites against the United States. It's the game that everybody wants to watch. We will start, of course, with the national anthems. Could this prove to be the tournament of shocks and surprises? Or are Argentina going to really stamp their mark on the competition in their opening game? So far we've seen the hosts Venezuela held by Bolivia, who were bottom in World Cup qualifying. Peru comprehensively beat Uruguay.
Short version.
Well, we've seen a five-star show from Paraguay against Colombia. Next, it's the favourites Argentina against the United States. It's one not to miss, and it's live next.
And Tony Jones.
Well, on day two, we saw defeats for Ecuador and Brazil. What then now of Argentina? Firm favourites to win the Copa for the first time since 1993. The coach, Coco Basile, a two-time winner, was bold enough to name his team 48 hours ago. And what a team it is. So strong that there isn't even a place in the starting lineup for West Ham United's Carlos Tevez on the bench. The United States have arrived here after winning the Gold Cup, coming from behind in that to beat Mexico in the final. You recognise the names of Casey Keller and Jay Demerit, but not too many of the others. 8 from the MLS are in the starting lineup for Bob Bradley, their new coach, an unbeaten coach as well. 11 games he's had in charge, and as yet, the United States undefeated. Bradley having taken over after the World Cup from Bruce Arena. It was a disappointing World Cup for the United States in Germany last summer. They feel it's time to rebuild, although they do have Casey Keller in goal this evening, playing his 101st international. Lionel Messi there of Argentina. What a talent he is. Young enough to have gone to the World Under-20 Championships this summer. 12 months ago he was at the World Cup final, Craig.
Quite amazing, yes, and everyone must look with great anticipation at this match. When you see the Argentinian lineup, it's absolutely fantastic. And the odds yesterday on a USA victory were 9-1, but I think when you look at the lineups, the odds would be increased now. It should be fairly orthodox victory for Argentina, but the USA will compete, that's certain. They'll give their all.
Second fixture of the evening then in Maracaibo. The referee is from Chile, Carlos Chandia. There have been surprises in the tournament already. Can the United States repeat their Copa success over Argentina of 12 years ago? Then Argentina rested several of their regulars. Now the priority for Basile, their coach, is a convincing start, without the uncertainty now apparent in the Brazilian camp.
Well, Tony, it was anything but a convincing start from the USA. You know, they played the ball straight back to the goalkeeper, Casey Keller. I would like to have seen them in far more offensive, get the ball forward and try and press the ball in the Argentinian half, but it was a very, very, I think, tentative start. and they haven't really got a touch of the ball, although they've only played seconds in the match, but it doesn't look good for the USA.
Argentina's last game in the build-up to this Copa America was a friendly international against Algeria, which was played at the new camp in Barcelona. It was a game that they won 4-3. They were in front inside 2 minutes. Carlos Tevez scoring from the penalty spot in that one. But Argentina that night did look vulnerable in defence. All 3 goals they conceded were either from corner kicks or free kicks.
Yeah, Taylor Twellman there, jumping over the top and clearly conceding a free kick.
Taylor Twellman alongside Eddie Johnson attacked this evening for the United States. Just listen to the roars of approval whenever Lionel Messi gets near the ball. Heinze already well forward for Argentina. Riquelme, the lazy magician they call him. Said he was going to retire from international football last year because of the criticism he was receiving. Said it was affecting his family, particularly his mother. Now he is back for Argentina. It's an Argentinian who are desperate to win this competition. 14 times winners of the Copa America, but their last success back in 1993. Beaten in the final by Brazil 3 years ago. And they were in front in the final until the 3rd minute of stoppage time. Adriano equalising for Brazil. He went to a penalty shootout. And Argentina lost that, just as they did at the World Cup against Germany last summer.
As usual, great possession from Argentina, no hurry, very, very patient, and you know, if we get a goal like we saw from Cambiasso after all the combination play in the World Cup, it'll be absolutely fantastic.
Esteban Cambiasso scored one of the great World Cup goals. 26 pass move before he made it 2-0 against Serbia and Montenegro. And that was a game that Argentina won 6-0. Cambiasso on the ball. Mascherano now playing just in front of the back line of 4. A vastly experienced back line of 4 for Argentina as usual. Here's Heinze. Now Riquelme. By Zanetti. Messi again. And again by Messi. Back by Varane. Real buzz around the stadium already. And that is United States number 2. Marvel win the second, his first international appearance. And it's against the team who are currently ranked 3rd in the world, Argentina.
Wonderful 1- and 2-touch passing we're witnessing here. This is fantastic stuff. USA defending in their own half. You know, in basketball they would say it would be a half-court press because they're not pressing at all in the Argentinian half. They're just staying in their own half at the moment, trying to get 2 banks of 4 with 2 strikers to make it awkward for Argentina to thread through.
Here's Heinze. Riquelme again, looking for Messi. On by Varane. Messi goes on, has time to have a look up. And it's eventually put out by Jimmy Conrad. He has got some experience, and it's much needed experience at the back for the United States.
Yeah, an excellent ball across the face of the goal, but very good defending. To concede the corner was all he could do, and Jimmy Conrad, the Kansas City defender, did exceptionally well.
Hella watchful. Conrad, another member of the squad that went to the World Cup last summer. Crespo ready to make his move, closely watched by Conrad. Map is featuring for his country for only the 3rd time. Wynn is making his international debut. Joe Demerit is featuring for the United States for only the 4th time, the defender from Watford. What a jump he's made from the Ryman League to the Copa America in just 3 years.
Yeah, a solid performer for Watford last season, although they had a difficult season, but Demerit always made a very good account of himself, and you know, he's a stalwart here in this USA defence.
Was actually on the bench for the Gold Cup final. United States beating Mexico by 2-1.
No doubt about that offside decision. You know, clearly offside. Very good defending, as you said, Tony. The experience at the back there, they know how to hold the line when required, and most assured and comfortable at the back, and the determination always to pass the ball from back to middle to front.
Already Argentina looking to the World Cup in 2010. The South American qualifying competition begins in the autumn. Is it worry perhaps that defensively they've got too many 30-somethings now? Here's Johnson. Johnson goes down. United States are claiming a penalty kick, and they've got one.
Yeah, Johnson has great pace. He was going through there, and the tackle was from behind, but looked at the first glance as if the ball was played first, but it was a tackle from behind, and I'm quite convinced that he was impeded. Milito definitely charged him, and a penalty kick is the correct decision.
Eddie Johnson just having his heels clipped there by Gabri Milito of Real Zaragoza, and the United States with the chance to go in front, and it will be Eddie Johnson who's stepping forward to take this penalty kick. Abondanzieri already playing the mind games. Head to head now with the United States centre forward.
Yeah, this is the second penalty of the tournament. The first one, of course, the match earlier was missed by Colombia. A great opportunity for Eddie Johnson.
He's been in terrific form in the MLS. Now he has his chance to make a big impact at the Copa America. Johnson patient. It's Johnson against Abondanzieri. This for 1-0, and the United States are in front.
Yeah, superb, cool finish from Eddie Johnson, absolutely perfect. Keeper tempted to go the other way, but he stuck it brilliantly down low to the goalkeeper's left, and no chance. Excellent start, and this is going to make it a game now.
Nobody was expecting this.
From the neutral point of view, it's the best thing that could happen. Argentina now will have to come out and show all the quality that exists in that squad of theirs. But a great start for the USA. Johnson's pace causing problems in the heart of that defence, and of course he put the penalty kick away with great assurance.
In Maracaibo this evening, every goal has been greeted with a light show. We saw 5 for Paraguay against Colombia, so we can expect more fireworks now. The United States, with a team including 8 players from the MLS, have taken the lead against Argentina, the tournament favourites. Eddie Johnson of the Kansas City Wizards, brought down by Gabri Milito, and it's Johnson who stepped forward to put the United States in front.
And I think Milito was a bit rash there, because Johnson, although he was clear, had a lot to do to score. But he was brought down from behind, clearly impeded, and the referee from Chile, no question, penalty kick.
Riquelme set to take charge. He's been commenting in the South American press this week about the new tournament ball that they've got here in Venezuela. Says that it swerves a bit too much. Riquelme set. Howell has joined the end of that United States defensive wall. Riquelme still not happy. That's a beautiful ball forward by Riquelme. Keisikawa tries to make the save, but Hernan Crespo has got the equaliser. The United States lead was short-lived. Totally deceived then by the flight of Riquelme's free kick. And although Keisikawa made one attempt to keep the ball out, they couldn't stop Hernan Crespo, and Argentina are level.
A great free kick, right from the training ground, absolutely perfect. Total deception there, everyone expecting the shot, and the ball was clipped in. The first touch was poor from Crespo, but his second one, once he got the rebound, it was excellent. Yeah, the defence of the USA all at sea there, but they were completely deceived by that tremendous free kick. Love to see training ground move being successful in matches, and clearly they've practiced that one. And of course the delivery was absolutely perfect, and not great defending admittedly from the USA, but a fine comeback goal, and that's what was required for Argentina. Quick response.
Hernan Crespo's 33rd international goal. Only Diego Maradona and Gabriel Batistuta have scored more for Argentina.
Incredible record, that 33 goals and 63 internationals. Quite fantastic.
Less than 2.5 minutes between the two goals. The United States taking the lead from the penalty spot, and now Hernan Crespo on the back of Riquelme's free kick has made it 1-1.
Yeah, very quick reaction from Argentina, and a fine goal. Heinze played it forward first of all, and Crespo put the finishing touch. He is the perfect predator there, right in front of the goal. Doesn't miss opportunities like that.
And Crespo's just won the Serie A title with Inter Milan. Here's Zanetti, another of the Inter contingent in the Argentinian team this evening. This is Cambiasso.
Yeah, strong, experienced defender, Zanetti. One of the best in the world, obviously. 106 international caps for Argentina.
There's Twelman. He's able to bring the ball away. The United States were appealing for the handball and against Gabrianse. Looking for Johnson.
Fantastic skill from Riquelme. Absolutely wonderful.
Here's Messi. Riquelme again. Zanetti always eager to get forward. States with everyone in their own half. Cambiasso. Riquelme again prepared to take centre stage. Messi. Another positive run by Lionel Messi. Over with the back heel, but again the United States have surrendered possession quickly. Casual start by Argentina. Now they've just begun to up the tempo a little bit. Veron, only recalled to the international side back in February after a 4-year absence. Here's Johnson, who Argentina have really found difficult to contain.
Yeah, Johnson's the ideal man if you're going to be defending for a large part of the match. He's an excellent man for counter-attacking moves, and you know, the experienced, bustling Taylor Twelman with him strikers of USA have got a capability.
Twelman, who's scored close to 90 goals in the MLS. Eddie Johnson, who's scored 6 in his last 2 MLS fixtures. Looking again for Johnson. Olsen had also burst forward into that Argentine penalty area. Just to be remembered that the United States have arrived here in Venezuela, minus the majority of their Gold Cup team, but Argentina have got some important support. Diego Maradona, who opened the tournament, and sees Lionel Messi as his heir apparent, if you like. Plenty of similarities. We saw that wonderful goal by Messi in the Copa del Rey against Getafe when he ran for some 62 metres. Different stage, different competition, but very similar to the goal that Maradona scored against England at the World Cup in Mexico. Also in the penultimate week of the La Liga season, we saw Lionel Messi touch one in with his hand and get away with it. Star for Boca Juniors when they won the Copa Libertadores just a couple of weeks ago. Player of the tournament.
Yeah, wonderful, skillful player. Riquelme, you know, it was a treat to watch them quite often at Villarreal, and you know, absolutely outstanding. Terrific use of the reverse pass.
Riquelme was never really happy at Barcelona. Messi, who is. Here's Demerit.
We've got to admit that the USA, you know, after a very tentative start, have settled reasonably well. The goal they got, I think, has given them a great deal of confidence, and now they're prepared to try to play Argentina at their own passing game, and it's a good contest.
There's Veron. Last year with the Estudiantes. Coming out of the game doing the covering. MLS Defender of the Year in 2005.
Yeah, great defending there.
Done by Veron. Done by Cambiasso. That is Casey Caller, who played against Argentina when the United States beat them 3-0 in 1995. Also in the team in 1999 when they defeated Argentina 1-0. A goal from Joe Max Moore, who had a time in England with Everton, of course. Has to be remembered that Copa America fixture in 1995. Argentina actually took the liberty of resting 1 or 2 regulars, feeling that their place in the next phase was secured, and they ended up finishing second in their group and then playing Brazil and going out. Should win this tournament. It will be a hat-trick for their coach Coco Basile, twice successful in the Copa America previously. He also had Argentina at that World Cup when Diego Maradona was suspended. Testing positive after the fixture against Nigeria.
Yeah, that was the 94 one won by Brazil. Good World Cup played in the USA.
Here's Ayala. He'll be leaving Valencia for Villarreal during the summer. And by Veron, looking for Zanetti. Now was doing the covering.
Yeah, Mapp settled very well. I think only he stopped international, Justin Mapp, and he has settled into the match very comfortably, and that was a very good saving tackle. Interesting to see the USA bring everyone back to defend the corner, quite common. The top flight in the game, everyone back, and you can counter-attack effectively from the edge of the box without leaving a man upfield.
It's a blustery evening. You can see the ticker tape that's blowing across the pitch. It is a really good playing surface, however. Arla was in there. Soti Melito. Maybe another corner kick.
Yeah, powerful big guy, Melito. He's got excellent provision to attack these corner kicks, Argentina. And any scraps will be put in the back of the net, as we've seen by Hernan Crespo.
Maracaibo, fisted away by Keller. Hear the shout, get out. The United States currently being pegged back. Maracaibo with time to have a look up and to try and deceive Keller then. I think that was his intention.
It was indeed, yes, and you're absolutely right about the shout, get out. They get out exceptionally well. You know, a very well drilled side, the USA. Bob Bradley's got a fine reputation. Excellent club record as a coach, now with the national team, and you can see excellent organisation in this team. They know exactly what he's wanting them to do, and performing most capably so far.
Bradley was given the job on a full-time basis back in the spring after taking over from Bruce Arena immediately after the World Cup. Ansel gives chase and keeps the ball in play. Confronted now by Olsen.
Good defending by Olsen. Stood his ground there, blocked the path for Heinze, and free kick to the USA.
And Olsen briefly had a time in England. He was at Nottingham Forest when David Platt was in charge. It's been a career which has been disrupted by numerous injuries. He broke an ankle when he was at Forest, and he's been blighted by problems with that ankle ever since.
I think since he's got his goal, up front, Eddie Johnson quite frustrated because it's hardly a decent quality pass. One just now, but in a wide area, he wants the ball in the central area where he's really dangerous.
Johnson dispossessed by Mascherano. What a good job he does for Argentina, as he does for Liverpool now as well. Here's Clark by Matt. Good on. Now Messi. Ornstein to bring the ball away.
Well, a bad misunderstanding there. That's a classic example of an unforced error. Playing it out of play when it would be much easier. Map, inexperienced player. Just a little more composure, could have held on to that one and perhaps played it in behind the defence.
Here's Messi. Zanetti, and by Veron. Pushing Bornstein.
Bornstein doing well in that left back position. He was certainly pushed there, but you know, he's performed capably.
Messi was in the Argentine under-20 team who were beaten by the United States at the World Youth Championships in the Netherlands 2 years ago. Started the tournament on the bench for Argentina, ended up with the golden shoe and the player of the tournament award.
Yes, he'll still be eligible for the one that's currently underway in Canada for the World Under-20 Championship. But obviously he's got elevation to the national side, and it's great to see him. A very talented player.
Somebody will be playing there for the United States is Freddie Adu. He was only 18 at the start of June. So much expected from him, of course, in recent years. Iron-born striker who came to prominence as a 16-year-old at the World Under-17 Championships.
Good decision by the assistant there, clearly offside. The USA again holding their line. It's a risky tactic at times, but they seem very well coordinated, and I know that a lot of work's put into that on the training pitch, because Bradley, the coach, Bob Bradley, highly regarded in the USA coaching scene, and he's got them well drilled at the back.
More Copa America action on Saturday. Bolivia versus Uruguay. That's at 8:30 on Sky Sports 1. 2 games on Saturday evening. That's followed by Venezuela versus Peru. The next fixtures in Group A. And so far it has been an absorbing tournament. Brazil losing their opening fixture. We've seen Paraguay in good form against Colombia earlier this evening. Peru beating Uruguay as well in their opening fixture. And the hosts, Venezuela, surprisingly held by Bolivia. Some of the United States squad were taking close interest in that Venezuela versus Bolivia fixture, because Jamie Marano, who scored for Bolivia against Venezuela, is with DC United now. Teammate of Ben Olsen and also Bobby Boswell, who's on the bench this evening.
Yeah, a bit of jersey pulling there, without question, and Justin Mapp penalised.
Mascherano. By Riquelme. Riquelme again. Nearly got Cambiasso in.
So many blue jerseys there when, because Argentina build up very carefully but slowly, it gives the USA time to get back into a good defensive shape, and it's a narrow back four when the ball gets into the front third, and it's been most effective so far.
Just able to keep the ball in play. Minus so many of their Gold Cup winning squad. Tim Howard of Everton, of course, and Gichoni Ewu, who was with Newcastle United on loan from Standard Liège. Landon Donovan of the LA Galaxy, one of David Beckham's new teammates, not considered for this Copa America tournament.
Yeah, the Fulham boys, Bocanegra, Dempsey, not considered either. So, you know, it's a strange-looking USA side, but they've performed most effectively so far, and that opening goal gave them great heart and confidence.
With their absentees, Jonathan Spector and Frank Simic, and also DeMarcus Beasley, who was on loan to Manchester City from PSV Eindhoven and will be playing, one assumes, in Scotland next season. Set to join Glasgow Rangers, provided that they can sort out his work permit. Here's Johnson. Rabban Danzieri. Given away by Riquelme. Here's Twellman. Now Johnson. Twellman goes down, and the United States have a free kick, conceded by Javier Mascherano.
Yeah, it was a very, very tidy 1-2 there. And Mascherano did concede the free kick, but it was a great opportunity there, good play. Nice layoff from Eddie Johnson into the path of his striking colleague Taylor Twellman, but Mascherano stopped the attack at the expense of this free kick.
Twellman and Matt, the two over this free kick. Danzieri showed his vulnerability in that game that Argentina won against Algeria 4-3. Twellman steps away. Effort was disappointing, threaded wide by Benny Feilhaber.
Yes, I think he actually mishit that one. The idea was there, but he didn't clip it the way we'd hoped to do so, and it was a tame finish, a promising situation.
Feilhaber has shown he can do it when he wants to. He scored the winner for the United States when they came from behind to win the Gold Cup against Mexico in Chicago. A volley from outside the penalty area.
I think that was good use of the advantage rule there. It looked to be an offside decision, but wisely to allow play to continue. The assistant kept the flag down, acknowledged the situation with his colleague, the referee, and play continued.
The interpretation of the rule now is that, of course, the player who's attacking has to touch the ball before the flag is raised.
Yes.
It's been a good showing this by the United States in the first half, boosted by that early penalty goal. Eddie Johnson scoring after he'd been fouled by Gabi Milita. Ronan Crespo getting the equaliser for Argentina. Argentina with plenty of possession. United States at the moment holding firm. Can they deny Messi?
Messi's the one man with a bit of spark here. He clearly indulges in a good change of pace there. It's quite a methodical, almost pedestrian build-up by Argentina, but when it gets to Messi, more than anyone else, the pace changes.
Veron. Return to Argentina to enjoy Apertura title success last year at the age of 32. Calme was looking for Crespo. Calme. He was trying to release Zanetti, who made a positive forward run.
Yeah, good to see Zanetti acknowledging the attempted pass there. It was a back-spinning ball from Riquelme. He's very good at that, but Zanetti just couldn't get it in time.
It's Bob Bradley, the United States coach. It's not a bad record, is it? 11 games unbeaten so far in the MLS with Chicago Fire. He was head coach at Chivas before taking over the national squad.
I don't think his job's under threat.
America giving him an opportunity to look at some of the players who are starting to emerge from the college scene and making their mark now in the MLS. So the turned out in a friendly against China at the start of June, just before the Gold Cup began.
We're seeing Riquelme getting deeper and deeper to receive the ball, and I'm quite sure Basile, the coach, would want him to be receiving it further upfield in a more dangerous, threatening position. Here he is, way back deep in his own half. Okay, he delivers a good pass, but you want the telling pass from further forward.
Argentina next face Colombia, who they beat 3-0 in the semi-final 3 years ago. That's on Monday. The final fixture in the group phase is against Paraguay. Now by Conrad. Here's Johnson. Another strong run this by Eddie Johnson. Twellman waits. Now Clark. Feilhaber.
Idea was good, the reverse ball was well intended there, but the execution just not as perfect as he would have wished. But good promising move there from USA. Neither goalkeeper had much to do. In fact, Casey Keller, I think one punched corner is all he's really had to contend with, apart from losing the goal.
Messi trying to give Argentina some inspiration. States arrived in Venezuela with a squad that included 16 who played just 10 internationals or less. 14 of the squad are aged under 25. Gardner is on the bench at 20 as the youngest.
Yeah, both Veron and Riquelme have tried that ball over the top because the USA are holding quite a high line at the back, but they're doing it very effectively.
It's been a sterling performance by the United States in this first half. Boost of that early goal from the penalty spot by Eddie Johnson. Argentina equalising within 2.5 minutes through Hernan Crespo following the Calmez free kick. Just the game that United States were expected to suffer in and perhaps crumble. Defensively, they've been well organised and they've looked very strong. Here's Veron looking for Cambiasso. Riquelme again. To get away from Marvel Wynn. Crespo with a shot, which was always going wide.
Yeah, I think the preferred option would have been a ball across the face of the goal there, but you know, he is a striker and strikers want to be selfish there, but I think a ball across the face, and it might have been much more effective had he tried to pick out Cambiasso.
Crespo's had 3 big money moves. One at River Plate, went to Parma, he joined Lazio after that and into Milan and finally Chelsea. Johnson goes down once more. sense that Argentina perhaps playing only at 70% capacity. Just wonder if they start to up the tempo a little bit and start to inject a little bit of pace into their play, maybe they can create further problems for the United States. It's difficult to break down this blanket defence, though.
It is indeed, yes. You know, Argentina are very patient, but you're quite right. You get the impression that they need to be hurting, as they were when they lost the goal, to increase the pace to what might be called their normal style, because it's very, very lethargic, everything patient, deliberate, and there's very little spark.
See that Basile, the coach, is right on the edge of his technical area. Mascherano. Danzieri looking to release Heinze. The goalkeeper has provided the most telling pass of these last few minutes. Here's Cambiasa. Now Veron. Two to pick out inside the penalty area. Oh, fantastic hit from Veron. Thudded against the crossbar.
Yeah, great strike there. Looked as though Casey Keller got a touch on that, but it was a fierce shot. And he just got enough to touch it onto the top of the crossbar. That's what we're looking for, more action like that, and that's really the first save of the match for either goalkeeper, but a fine save by Keller.
Terrific stop by Casey Keller. United States under even more pressure, and Keller has come to the rescue again.
Excellent corner kick, driven to the front post. Good play by Cresswell coming across the first defender. Excellent stuff. Argentina, I think, trying to get something in the lead before they go at half time, because they've certainly upped the tempo.
There's Veron. Out by Mack. He's done well to pick out Johnson. Twellman alongside. Mascherano across to cover.
Yeah, twice recently Johnson got in that inside right position, and amazingly, with the pace he's got, electing to turn back, hold it up and look for support when, you know, you get the impression, had he gone on his own on the last two occasions, it might have given more threat to the Argentinian defence.
He's only 23, Eddie Johnson, but he's still one of the more experienced members of this United States squad. He went to the World Cup last summer, and Reading have also had a look at him. His last two games in the MLS, he's managed hat-tricks in both. Scored 3 against the New York Red Bulls and then 3 more against New England. First striker to do that in the MLS.
Yeah, and a very well taken penalty in this match, which of course he earned himself.
Messi has now switched from right to left. Heinze looking for Crespa. Knocked away by Olsen. Veron very assured. Now Zanetti, who was overlooked for the World Cup last summer. Lionel Scaloni, who had a time with West Ham United, got the nod from Jose Peckerman.
Yeah, surprising Zanetti was omitted, because I've always thought he was a brilliant fullback, both defensively and in particular getting forward. Strong, purposeful, aggressive forward runs.
Trickery from Messi. Watched a minute then at the end of this first half. It's been a good watch as well, hasn't it, Craig?
Yeah, good watch, yes, and you know, that 1 minute indicates no injuries. Good, played in good spirit, an open game. I think a bit tame initially until the first goal went in, but things have livened up slightly. But I think a draw is fair at half time.
It's a scoreline that few would have predicted. What is in essence the United States' second choice, holding Argentina and testing Danzieri yet again. Heilhaber with the shot.
Yeah, good shot, but comfortably saved. From that distance, it should be saved. Certainly at that height.
So this was supposed to be easy for Argentina. It's proved otherwise. United States taking the lead from the penalty spot. A penalty by Eddie Johnson. Hernan Crespo there to get the equaliser for Argentina. And at half-time, it's Argentina 1, the United States 1. Many thanks, Rob. It has been a wonderful evening. What a game we've seen. Argentina 1, the United States 1 at half-time. And this, don't forget, a United States team bereft of the majority of their European stars. They were on duty for the Gold Cup. It's given several of the youngsters who are making their way through the MLS their chance. 8 from MLS teams in the starting lineup this evening. Just 1 from the Championship, Watford's Jay Demerit, and 2 from the German Bundesliga, including their goalkeeper Casey Keller, featuring for his country for the 101st time this evening. He won his 100th cap in the semi-final of the Gold Cup against Canada. Tim Howard came back for the final, but Howard now earning a deserved rest before he returns to England for pre-season training with Everton. These pictures have been taken by broadcasters all over the world, so inevitably a slight delay before the referee, who is from Chile this evening, Carlos Chandia, gets the go-ahead to get the second half underway.
Yeah, interesting to see the referee and his 2 assistants out waiting and the teams coming out. You know, normally, certainly in England, the referee would ensure the teams are out and then he would come, but he's out there waiting on the sides. And Argentina, I don't know whether it was deliberate or not, they kept the USA waiting for quite a considerable time before they emerged from the tunnel. I wonder if Alfio Basile had a lot to say to them at half-time. I would think he would be saying, we must increase the tempo.
Colombia were caught out at the start of the second half in their fixture against Paraguay. Paraguay going on to win 5-0, and they scored just 25 seconds into the second half of that one. Argentina endured such disappointment at the World Cup in Germany last summer, losing that penalty shootout against the hosts in the quarter-finals after their goalkeeper Roberto Abondanzieri had been injured during the course of the game. Argentina, who missed out in the final of the Copa America 3 years ago when they were beaten by Brazil in a penalty shootout. Several of the Argentine squad were given a chance to have a breather following the end of the European seasons before they regrouped again in Buenos Aires for the Copa America. Amongst them Zanetti, who's in a championship in Italy with Inter Milan. Argentine squad met up on the 15th of June. So they've had plenty of time really to prepare on the back of a couple of weeks off. How important is that, Craig, just to get people to have a bit of a breather on the back of a domestic season in Europe and time to...
I think it's very important. I genuinely believe that the long, arduous European season has caused a lot of teams to be weak here because the players have not been included. And that's one reason, I'm sure, to give them adequate rest. Club managers are not delighted when players are away playing in this tournament in the summer. We've heard that, you know, when the World Cup's on, managers complain about players being tired, and of course this is another tournament and many players from Europe are involved in this.
So when international coaches have to have a degree of understanding, and Bob Bradley has obviously had words with 1 or 2 of the European coaches and just said, I'll play your men in the Gold Cup, but I won't feature them in the Copa America. But it has given them a chance to have a look at 1 or 2 others, and they've performed well in this opening fixture against Argentina. And by Messi and Mascherano, looking again for Messi.
This man's mopped up very well at the back. He's been sweeping exceptionally well behind Jimmy Conrad, and he started the second half in the same efficient manner as he played throughout the first half.
Jimmy Conrad is now playing for the Kansas City Wizards. He has played in Europe. Time with Lech Poznan in Poland. Bizarre choice of a European club, but these days it's how boots travel. Messi. Now to Kalman. Messi gets a second chance. He's unable to deliver the shot.
Yeah, Messi very dangerous when he comes from that right side. It's quite fashionable these days to have the left-footed player on the right-hand side and vice versa. And Messi comes in extremely dangerously from the right. And Argentina, I think, very fortunate to have. I think out there they've got 4 left-footed, naturally left-footed player: Heinze, Cambiaso, Messi and Milito. So that's unusual to have as many. It gives a good balance to the side.
Here's Matt. Prepared to take on Zanetti. Mascherano. And Cambiaso. Riquelme. Crespo trying to get away from the debutant Marvel win. Veron. It had been raised from offside against Hernan Crespo then.
Yeah, he's got every chance to see right along that line there, but again, the USA holding the line very well. And a man of Crespo's experience, you might have thought he would have managed just to take a step out to stay onside.
Mascherano. Zanetti. I'd say missed from the penalty spot during that shootout against Brazil 3 years ago. Featuring for his country for the 110th time. 3 players out there this evening with more than 100 caps. Zanetti and Ayala for Argentina, and the United States goalkeeper, Casey Keller.
Mascherano right in from behind there. You know, one of the few fouls in this match. It's been a very cleanly contested contest and great attitude from both sides.
Zanetti almost finding himself in trouble then, and he's conceded the free kick as well. Lapse of concentration, and it could prove costly this for Argentina.
Absolutely good refereeing. That was undoubtedly a free kick. Zanetti going in rashly from the side and behind, and the referee quite correctly, Carlos Campadilla from Chile, gave the free kick.
The United States had a free kick in a similar position during the first half. Only Feilhaber shooting well wide. Mapp is also itching to have a go at that one. It looks as though Mapp is taking charge here.
Well, this is certainly within shooting distance, no question of that. Interesting to see the structure of this wall. Many coaches have the tallest player at the outside of the wall, smallest in the middle there. Quite a tall wall. So there's no need for a slope on it.
Mapp's there, 12 minutes there, as is Feilhaber. It is Mapp.
No, it didn't threaten the goal, that one, I'm afraid. The wall looked to be efficient. There was a synchronised jump from the Argentinians, and there wasn't the slightest prospect of that one hitting the back of the net. Interesting that after his excellence with a penalty kick, that Eddie Johnson is not involved in taking these free kicks.
Johnson should have been a surefire bet to score from the penalty spot. He scored 3 at the World Under-20 Championships 4 years ago. He's the Golden Shoe winner and managed 4 goals, 3 of them penalties. It's almost an award by default, isn't it? Here is Johnson. His record at the moment is still intact. Bob Bradley unbeaten as the coach of the United States since taking over from Bruce Arena after a disappointing World Cup for the USA, losing to the Czech Republic and Ghana and drawing as well with Italy. Another bloody encounter with Brian McBride getting his nose displaced.
Yeah, things look so promising. You mentioned Poland earlier, but they played Poland in a friendly, which I saw in Kaiserslautern before the World Cup, and the USA beat Poland. Clint Dempsey scored the only goal, and they looked to be a team which could threaten in the World Cup, but unfortunately for the USA, it just didn't materialise.
Just over 10 minutes of the second half played then. Argentina struggling to find any real fluency. And it was nearly Crespo who was in there behind Conrad.
Yeah, clever ball from Kelme over the top for Crespo coming in behind the defender, but just couldn't get a touch. A terrific ball curling into the path of Crespo. But as usual, Bobby Conrad was there. It was shepherding him, but you just wonder if Crespo had got a full touch on it, he might have had a different result.
How long before Coca Basile, the Argentine coach, considers changes? And when you look at what's available to him on the bench, well, he's got an embarrassment of riches, really. There's Pablo Aimar, there's Carlos Tevez, of course, Palacio, the Boca Juniors striker.
Yeah, Gonzalez as well. There's so many options he has, and I think when your team is playing as they're playing, I think you've got to be proactive and say, let's freshen things up. We saw it like last night with Chile. They were 2-1 behind, put on 2 substitutes, one at half-time, very early in the second half, and with 20 minutes to go, all 3 were on and they came through to win 3-2. So that's what a coach dreams about, getting the 3 subs on, come from behind and win the match. Not worry about an injury, leaving you a man short late in the game.
What a coach dreams about. It's certainly a scoreline which Bob Bradley in the United States would have dreamed about if they'd known that they would have been level at 1-1 just over 10 minutes into the second half, and that after taking the lead from the penalty spot.
I think he's justifiably very proud of his side. He must be, because they've played to the game plan, they've looked organised, they're willing to be competitive, and although at the beginning they were very tentative, they've taken the game. It looks as though Cambiasso is going to be replaced.
Time for the first change. Pablo Aimar is coming on. It was significant perhaps that Argentina had an 11 versus 11 training game on Tuesday just before Basile announced his team, and Cambiasso lasted just 30 minutes of that training ground warm-up, and he was replaced by Pablo Aimar. That's a reckless challenge. There will be a yellow card, it is, for Gabi Milito.
Yeah, that was Milito coming into an uncomfortable position on the right-hand side of the defence with his left foot and a clumsy tackle.
Yellow card then for Milito. Johnson and Twellman both wait. Above Feilhaber. Crespo back to help his defence out.
Yeah, I noticed that. I think that great point there, because you know, I love to see a striker who's prepared to come back and help out his defence. Batistuta, who used to play for this national side, was the classic example. Whenever a corner kick was lost, he sprinted back and he was first up to the halfway line when it was cleared. So I see Crespo's got the same work ethic.
Here's Aymar, just on as a substitute for Argentina, just trying to freshen things up a little bit. Aymar with perhaps a little bit more pace and a bit more guile to try and open up this United States defence. Just look at the numbers of blue shirts they've got back at the moment. Here's Mapp. Now Bornstein. Feilhaber. Bundled over by Johnson. Talked about this being the tournament of surprises. We saw that last night with Brazil being beaten in their opening fixture. But this perhaps, should the United States hold on, would be an even bigger surprise.
And if they won, it would be a major shock.
Crespo now. Here's Veron. Messi. Prepared to take on Win. Zanetti again well forward. Argentina probing patiently. Riquelme. Messi once more. Messi goes on. It's Lionel Messi! Side netting.
Yeah, wonderful bit of play there from Messi. He's now on his natural side on the left. He switched over and he did everything absolutely perfectly except the final shot. He's got to get that across Casey Keller, but the goalkeeper did exceptionally well, narrowing the angle and forcing him to hit it into the side netting. But you know, a good spurt of electric play there from Argentina. That's more like what we expect from them.
Messi was outstanding for Argentina in their final warm-up fixture against Algeria, game that they won 4-3, scored 2 of the goals. Time now for the United States to make a change. And Olsen is going off.
Eddie Gamanon from Columbus Crew for his 4th international cap. Very young chap, only 20 years of age. So great for the USA coach to bring on a young guy to give him valuable experience against one of the top teams in the world.
Gavin made his international debut in that friendly fixture you mentioned earlier against Poland last year.
Yeah, I was privileged to see that match, and he did well. But he was even younger then, and you know, he's one of the most promising players in the USA, and quite clearly must be at age 20 finding a place in the national side.
20 is the youngest member of the squad, and it is a very youthful squad, this. Here's the United States substitute. Bornstein. Now Mapp. Johnson up. Here's Twellman.
Yeah, it looked a good shot. The yellow boots, he made comfortable contact there, but it was blocked by Milito.
John always seems to have an angle for a pass. Here he is again.
Yeah, but for most of the match he's been so deep, and I would have thought at half-time might have been told both Veron and McKelvey get further forward, leave Mascherano to do the sweeping up and get up and support the attack.
Crowd again finding their voices when Messi has the ball. It's a terrific ball by Messi, and it's 2-1 now to Argentina, and it's a second for Hernan Crespo.
Yeah, great finish again from Crespo. Messi laying it on for him. Messi's been much more influential when he's moved to the other side, on the left, probing it into the path of Crespo, and this is more like the expected result. Oh, Keller unfortunate, it actually was almost driven through him. Yeah, through his legs. How often has Crespo done that? 2 goals in this match. What a finisher he is.
Goal number 34 for his country, 2 this evening. And Argentina, having been behind from the penalty spot, are now in front. United States, so determined, so workmanlike, so clearly eager to put on a good show here against the tournament favourites. How will they respond? How will they react? Here's Johnson. Clark. Veron. Romero has taken a knock there. Crespo. Santa Cruz got a hat-trick for Paraguay in the opening game this evening. Hernan Crespo has managed 2 so far.
Interesting to see if Argentina get a penalty kick. I think we could anticipate who'll want to take it.
Warm-up game against Algeria. Carlos Tevez was on the pitch from the start and he took it.
Great pass that. Well, Messi, first class, and first touch finish. Excellent. I think a bit sorry for Casey Keller there. The ball actually went through him, but he was in good position to, like perfect position to narrow the angle, but he was driven early before he got down and through his legs.
C will play the second team in Group A. That's the group that includes Peru, Venezuela, Bolivia and Uruguay in the quarterfinals. Uruguay at the moment with the more impressive goal difference. 5-0 thumping of Colombia. And Argentina now looking for further goals against the United States. Messi again trying to be the inspiration. Messi is denied. This Argentine team have suddenly sparked into life in the second half.
Yeah, they have indeed. That Bornstein did well, a saving tackle there, because it looked as though they were in danger of losing a third. Then Messi conceded the free kick.
Argentina have won this tournament 14 occasions, the last time in 1993. Coach Coco Basile looking for a 3rd success in the competition. 12 minutes now going off for the United States.
Another 20-year-old.
Second switch by Bob Bradley, the United States coach.
You know, that's quite amazing. You know, another youngster, only age 20, his first appearance from Columbus Crew, Hercules Gomez. And, you know, all credit to the USA for putting two 20-year-olds on in that second half.
The narrative was we've just got something on the ball then as Messi again threatened to sprint clear. Good challenge actually by the Watford man. There's the second of the United States debutants this evening. Marvel win the second, on from the start. Gomez is the second switch that they've made. A striker who began his professional career in Mexico. He's given his chance at the LA Galaxy by Frank Yallop, who's currently the coach of the team where Maxi Lallis is the president.
Yeah, Frank was the very efficient national coach of Canada, but now he's going to be in charge of David Beckham.
Here's Varane. One shot. Keller untroubled.
Most unlikely shot in the first half, which Casey Keller had to tip onto the top of the crossbar. That was a weak one. Unlike Veron, leaning back on that and didn't get maximum contact.
There's no doubt that Aymar's introduction has made a difference. A bit more zip and a bit more pace.
Yes, and it's allowed Messi a bit more freedom. He's moved to the other side, to his natural left side of the front, and it's three up front now.
The goalkeeper has had precious little to do in the second half. He will doubtless be looking at the news stories coming out of Spain today, saying that Fabio Capello is on his way from Real Madrid, and Bernd Schuster, who's been in charge of Getafe, is likely to take over. That awaits the Argentine goalkeeper when he returns to Spain for the next La Liga season. Messi will have Thierry Henry for company. It's a potent attacking combination.
I would think so.
Now Messi. Here's Aymar. Done by Fire Bornstein. Conrad has done a good job at the back alongside Jay Demerit.
Yeah, Map's delivery there most disappointing because it didn't get past first. There were two defenders there. They had to give some elevation on that one and get it driven further across the face of the goal, but you know, it was easily cut out.
Argentina have slipped to third in the world rankings behind Italy and Brazil. They've been top even though they were beaten in the quarterfinals of the World Cup last summer by Germany. By Bornstein, deemed to be bad enough to warrant a yellow card.
Well, I think it's a harsh yellow card, but referee decided that you know, Bornstein was going for the ball, as was Clark.
First course of the tournament for Jonathan Bornstein. Anybody who picks up 2 yellow cards in the first phase will be suspended.
just wonder what they're going to create here. The free kick in the first half opened the scoring for them. This will be very interesting. Maybe a bit of variety. Maybe we'll try a shot this time, but we'll certainly have something up the sleeve.
What can the lazy magician produce here? In again by Raquel May. Well gathered by Keller.
Oh, same again. I know it's amazing that USA hadn't learned from the first one. Had that been slightly lower, it was a certain goal, because we see that the opportunity was there, a wonderfully worked free kick, but it was exactly the same. And I don't think the USA had learned from the experience with the first one.
The United States are making good progress, though, because of the structure which is in place and the players which are currently available to Bob Bradley, the new coach. They've focused on the game at youth level. It's always been good well played in the schools, at least, and at under 17 and under 20 level, the United States have always been strong, but perhaps at senior level they've lacked the level of competition in the Central American zone, and it's competitions like this which gives them the chance to make further progress, to get better.
It's absolutely, I'm agreeing totally with you. The college structure's good, and the MLS is improving, and the signings of Beckham, fantastic. But the coach education is excellent in the USA. The National Soccer Coaches of America do well. Last week I was in Ireland, and the man in charge, an Englishman, Jeff Tipping, he was over giving a talk in Ireland about the USA way, and then going to the FA course and then over to Germany. So he's everywhere in Europe, picking up information and imparting it to the coaches in America, and we see the fine rewards. And there's one of the outstanding coaches in America, the national coach Bob Bradley, who may well be in danger of losing his unbeaten record tonight.
United States 11 games unbeaten since Bob Bradley took over. Let's not forget that so many of his star European players are not in Venezuela for this tournament.
These two experienced guys at the back, Demerit and Conrad, have done exceptionally well holding the shape of the back four, and the number of times Argentina have been offside, I think, reflects the excellence of their coordinated defensive play.
There's more Copa America football on Saturday evening. Bolivia versus Uruguay from Group A. That's at 8:30. That's the first of two fixtures in Group A on Saturday. The second one is the host Venezuela against Peru, who was so impressive against Uruguay in their opening fixture. That's Saturday at 8:30 on Sky Sports 1. Riquelme. Lito has brothers on the bench this evening. Diego. Aymar, who's also Real Zaragoza. There's Veron. Now Messi. Carlos Tevez is poised to come on as a substitute here now for Argentina. There is no respite for this United States defence.
When you've got Tevez on the bench, it tells you the quality in the squad.
Fabulous pass that by Veron. Crespa. Here's Anse. Oh, what a goal! Fabulously taken by Pablo Aymar. Brilliant play from Argentina. United States totally opened up, and it's the substitute Aymar who's made it 3-1. Super move from start to finish.
That was a fantastic goal. Wonderful play down the left. Great delivery and a powerful header back of the net. Great substitution, obviously, from the coach. Aymar, no chance at all for Casey Keller, and he came from a deep position, the edge of the box, bulleted that header behind Keller, and a fantastic goal. Great play, no wonder he's smiling, and look to the bench now and you see Tevez, and if you're a USA player, supporter, you say, what's going to happen next?
It's difficult not to underestimate what the United States have done here to take the lead and to hold Argentina for so long. And listen to the roars that Lionel Messi is getting from the Argentine supporters as he goes off now. He's been allowed to get a short breather before the Argentina are next in action. And here comes Carlos Tevez. Still officially with West Ham United. There's a story in one of the English newspapers today saying that he might be staying on at West Ham if they can find £9 million as part of a loan deal. Further change by the United States. They've brought on Carl Beckerman now. Ricardo Clark has gone off.
Yeah, Beckerman on for his second international cap. He's a bit older than the other two substitutes. You know, he's almost a veteran in this team at age 25.
The United States to crumble. Will they get back into this game? Showed their resolve during the first half. Press plenty forward. You know what Jay DeMeritt can do from set-piece situations. Looked like it should have been another free kick to the United States. The referee says play on. Tevez eager to make an impact. Denied by DeMeritt. Argentina at the World Cup last summer scored a goal after 26 passes. Cambiasso, the scorer then against Serbia and Montenegro, and after Cambiasso went off tonight, it was Pablo Aimar who came on, and he's made it 3-1 now to Argentina after a move of 22 passes. That says something about the quality, regardless of the opposition.
Yeah, and the final two passes in the front third on the left-hand side, absolutely superb. The delivery was magnificent, and as was the finishing header. So that's a goal of outstanding quality. We've seen a number in this tournament, but few, if any, better than that one.
Favourites have taken a bit of time to find their feet in this opening fixture. Veron. The languid, almost lazy crossfield pass. He has now found his range, Veron.
Yep. Offside given.
Zanetti. Allowed to take charge. It's Conrad Johnson who gave the United States the lead from the penalty spot. Beckerman on as a substitute. Now Matt. By Matt, then Beckerman looking for Gomez.
Yeah, what a fine goal that was. That's a classic. That's again a training ground, crossing and finishing. The cross was perfect, the finish was exquisite there from Aimar. Wonderful play.
No joy for Mapp as he tries to get beyond Zanetti. Given away by Heinze. Baile. Born in Brazil of Austrian parents. Here's Gavin. Beckerman.
I would say, Tony, no disgrace for this young experimental USA side, because the match is ending up as anticipated with Argentina in complete control, but for an hour or so the USA did very well, and I think coach Bob Brackley, although suffering his first defeat, will be proud of his players.
Shockwaves around the stadium when the United States took the lead. And here come Argentina again. It's Carlos Tevez. Super finish from Tevez.
Excellent finish. At first, I'd like to see it again. I thought he looked offside, but he was clear. And that high line that the USA have been playing, you know, as the legs get weary, two central defenders caught out there. Tevez, fresh legs, substitute on, and what a wonderful finish.
Twice the Latin Footballer of the Year, on as a second half substitute here for Argentina, and like another of the substitutes, Pablo Aimar has been able to find the back of the net beyond Casey Keller.
Yeah, and he was onside there. He timed his run very, very well. That was an example of the Americans being caught out, playing so flat, so high, and he came off the shoulder there of Bornstein and stuck it away brilliantly.
Here come Argentina again. Once more, it's Tevez on the ball. Tevez goes on. And that's perhaps rather selfish.
Yes, acknowledging, I think, his selfishness. You know, he is a striker who wants to be selfish, and all the good strikers are, but the preferred option would have been a ball across the face of the goal for Crespo.
Are on their way. Favourites who were stunned when the United States took the lead. Argentina have made another change. Varane has gone off. Opportunity to give him a little bit of a breather before their next fixture. Gego has come on in his place.
Yeah, the youngsters are getting a chance in this match. Diego, only 21 years of age, young Real Madrid player. I haven't seen a lot of him, but I'm told he's absolutely outstanding.
It cost Real Madrid a lot of money when they signed him in January from Boca Juniors. Before Real Madrid when they were beaten by Deportivo La Coruña at the start of this year.
There's a precision finish if ever there was one. Absolutely perfect. And he's very happy. I think he scored a few like that himself.
So he would approve of the goals which Argentina have scored this evening. particularly the one that Pablo Aimar put in. 22-pass move, which produced the third goal for Argentina. Certainly before the game, I think if anybody had looked at the two teams, they would have said that this would have been comfortable for Argentina, and it has proved to be that way, but certainly for the best part of an hour or so, it is essentially a United States MLS team with a very good show against the favourites for this Copa America. The conditions perhaps better than they were for the first game. The breeze, which was blowing from left to right across the stadium, seems to have eased.
Yes, everything that I've seen in this tournament, the Copa America from Venezuela, has been good in terms of conditions. The pitches have been immaculate. Multiple ball system used in most games, because we have here a track round the pitch, and even when there hasn't been a track, the ball has been returned very quickly, try and keep the pace of the game up, and it's been a good spectacle so far.
Copa America, the focus for Argentina will be qualification for the next World Cup in South Africa in 2010. It's a qualifying campaign which begins in the autumn, and the coach Basile is unhappy that the Argentine Federation have done a deal with a Russian rights holder who apparently have brought the contract to a number of games. That means that Argentina will have to play 24 friendlies over a 5-year period. There's a stipulation that at least 7 of the squad of 20 will have to be established internationals. As a former international coach yourself, can you understand his concerns?
Yes, I can indeed. You know, of course, this is commercial, and the sponsors are beginning to dictate things. You know, I think that's been the case with Brazil. They have to play a set number of friendly matches to justify the huge sponsorship income they get.
Argentina's last 2 friendlies were both in Europe. They won against Algeria, they drew as well against Switzerland. Before that, there was an entirely South American-based team who drew 0-0 with Chile back in March.
This man's made a big impression since he's come on. You talk about impact substitutions. You can't get a better impact than heading a powerful goal not long after being introduced to the action.
It would be harsh on the United States should Argentina now get a 5th goal.
Yeah,
Uruguay having put 5 past Colombia early this evening.
No, they wouldn't deserve that.
Floated in Maracaibo. Crespo challenging there with demerit. 2 minutes, second half stoppage time have now been played. It's Conrad who's down.
I can't recall the physiotherapist being on in this match, and I'd be surprised he was on now. A good header there by Demerit.
Conrad back on his feet, seeing stars, if not stars and stripes. So pushing inside the penalty area. Not entirely sure if the ball didn't go out of play and then come back into play, but Casey Keller is bringing it forward a yard or 2. And that is it. Argentina, who struggled during the first half, who went behind. Eddie Johnson scoring from the penalty spot for the United States. But Bob Bradley has suffered defeat in his 12th international in charge of the United States. The favourites, Argentina, are on their way. Most impressive in the second half. And it's finished Argentina 4, the United States 1.